start.
Wherever you stay.
Okay, where were you born?
The birth certificate says Marysville, Texas.
So where were you born?
10 miles east of Marysville.
So the birth certificate is incorrect?
Not really.
Not really.
It was on Woodbridge. They just had to put a town.
They just had to put a town. Okay.
I went to grade school on Woodbridge.
What was the name of the school?
Woodbridge. And that school was one room schoolhouse through the 7th grade. So I learned enough from all the other kids having the lessons. I skipped the 2nd grade. Promoted to the 3rd grade.
From first grade you skipped second.
Right. Then the state of Texas went from 11-year school year to 12 years. So I not really skipped, but moved up past the 5th grade. I didn't ever have the 5th grade. But see, then the same as being 6th because I still had to go through 12th year. Everybody else moved up too. Everybody else. Mine just happened to be my 5th grade year that I moved up. But we weren't still Hayes. We had consolidated some, wasn't Woodbridge. We had consolidated 4 of the schools and then it was called Hayes. We went there 1 year, walking into that school, into our living up there. Okay?
Yeah.
But I've got lots of stories about Woodbridge.
Okay. Tell us some.
Okay? We lived with my grandmother Hemphill. 2 miles west was my grandparents named Sparkman. Oh, thank you very much. I ate my food. So one day I thought, well, I would always stay at my grandparents' apartment just as much as I could, which was, just going to grandma's and staying.
Is this John Buck?
Yes. So one day, it was a real hot summer day. Okay, we had a telephone at our house. Sparkman's did not. So we got a call that Paul Sparkman's brother and family were coming. We thought that they need to know it. They want to fix supper. I told Mama, I can walk over there and tell them, and then I'll stay for supper. Y'all come too because it'll be Mom's uncle. But no, it's too hot for you. Get some food water and jug, wrap around the rag and hold and take the wet wash over. Away I went, walking in this hot summer day. Got over there and told them so that Mom could fix supper for this family that was coming. That was just one time that I made an effort and go, I stayed over there long.
How far did you walk?
2 miles.
2 miles.
2 miles. They lived west of the Hemphills. Then there was a time, go on a little farther from them, say a mile or two, Bill and Amalou lived. We went and spent lots of time with him. My dad, not with us, my dad and Uncle Bill Sparkman would go rabbit hunting at night.
At night?
Sometimes they just drive their car out in the pasture. Sometimes us kids would be with them. Rabbit hunting. But anyway, us cousins one afternoon were just walking in the area. We weren't used to seeing airplanes, but you know the story. So this little bitty airplane coming along, and this big Sally takes him and me probably was going. I said, okay, down through the ditch. Here comes it. Here comes it. Good language, good sentence.
Yeah, you had an education.
But after that, I did.
How old were you?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 6 or 7. I don't know.
Who ordered the ice cream?
We just weren't used to seeing airplanes.
Well, how old were you when you walked to your grandparents' house to tell them that their relatives were coming for dinner?
I would say that would be around 5
Here
or
you
6.
go.
It was a different time. It's not like today when you would probably let a kid go anywhere.
Get $5.
$5.
Well, I mean, like the shake was $3.
Oh, I ordered several things.
Anybody else finished?
Okay, so when I was going to school at Wolf Ridge,
$2.
when I was in first year, the teacher lived with us. She had a horse.
Daddy,
Taking her place. I don't remember riding on the horse with her, but I rode on the horse with my cousins, who was Aunt Rena's kids. Rode behind Jake every time. So one day I fell off the horse.
You fell off the horse?
Fell off the horse. I was riding behind him and fell off. But anyway, we lived with, that was fine. And this little school, I don't know who came along, but you gotta think, see, I'm 86 now. Say first, second, third grade. Somebody came along and was taking a movie of us kids there. We didn't know there was such a thing. I mean, we'd go to town to see a movie, but to come to your school and take a movie was just astounding. So the people that came to school on horses, they had a place to tie them for the day, and then we had
You tied the people?
tied the horses. They had a water bucket with a dipper, and you all get to drink during the day. And then for the winters, those great old big heater things for heat. And then you can open the door, and on some of the mechanism you could put your milk chocolate and have warm chocolate at noon. Right up down, right up down. When I went to school in Hayes, right after the consolidation, I think from our house I rode a school bus. Don't think it was yellow, it was blue. I thought, blue school bus? No way. But then, here came the war, and so many people had to leave, but they left in different weeks or months, because Dad went on to Fort Worth and was working at this job at the aircraft factory. He went down there, I think, in February. Mom and Joan moved down in April. I stayed at Mom and Pa's to finish the school year, and from their house, the school year was just, it's about a quarter of a mile, so I could walk it. I was just right there. Stayed with them 6 weeks, and then moved on to Fort Worth with Mom and Dad.
What year was that?
42, because war came in 41. So we moved that quick. Mom and Pa didn't move quite that quickly. I mean, everybody in Hancock County seemed like was hinting on those art departments. They were all branching out, looking for places to live. And so the place at Justin, where Lois and Kaiser bought and built, Lois was my cousin on the Hippo side. Mom and Pa had looked at that house, the place, decided not to buy it. They bought a place west of Valley. Earl and Willard bought a place in Valley, they're on the Hippo side. But Mom and Pa lived west of Valley, about 4 miles, and then Aunt Ned lived just a mile or two from Ma, and she had not lived that close to Mom and Pa said she had made it. Aunt Ned, Uncle Dutch. Okay, so I'm down at Fort Worth now. We live 1 mile west of Consolidated, which I don't remember what the name of it's called now. Martin Bulky Aircraft. It's had several names.
It was Consolidated or was it Convair?
It was Consolidated Bulky Aircraft Corporation. My dad first came to Consolidated. Convair was the name later, or else it just was like synonymous with it, I'm not sure. We live 1 mile west of Consolidated. We rented from a place that had been a dairy. So we had this old farmhouse. Back out here was a little house, and then the barn, which was way long with lockers for a dozen cattle or so. Cows in this little house is where they would bring the milk in, sanitize it, and get it ready to take to market. But there was such a great influx coming to Consolidated. People came there from everywhere. So, okay, in this house, we rented out 2 front rooms. During that time, we had a big dining room table, not as big as this, quite. Every night we'd put the mattress on there. Joan and I slept on it. Mom and Dad slept in a little room that had been a porch, but had been sort of.
You slept on the table?
Every night. As we had these guys, they would find a place to live, or go back home where we had different people in and out. We had a couple living out in this first little house that was by the barn, switched it to be a house. We had a trailer house out there that had people in. I mean, people were just coming from everywhere to work there. Just that thing, or the war. Big deal. We walked 2 miles to White Settlement Elementary School.
Well, how did your parents have the funds to rent this place?
Why did it be like sublet? I mean, we rented the whole place.
I understand that, but in the first place, how did your parents have the money to rent? I mean, that sounds like a pretty substantial piece of property.
160 acres.
How did they have the money to rent that place?
Well, I don't know.
Not rent it out. How did they have the money to be the tenants?
Okay, you gotta understand, up until the time the war came, we were still partly in depression. Bad 30s. Bad.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Where did they get the money?
I'm sure this house and farm did not sell, and probably They just give it a, I'm probably they rented it real cheap. Besides all that rent, my mom took in washing. Had this old black pot, had this weed burner, there was a gasoline weed burner, heat the water in that pot. Did washing for people.
That's our weed burner.
Weed burner. I don't know how come, I've never seen one like it since. Don't know why. We had one, they made it on and bought it just to heat that water. But besides that, we had a cow or two all the time, and Mama sold milk and sold butter. She sold milk, sold butter, did washings, took care of all this good property. Because they told me when they left the fridge, they had a debt. They needed to pay this debt. They paid it off. It didn't take too long to pay it off. I mean, look what all she was doing. Daddy working. A lot of times they put all Dad's, not right then probably, a lot of times they would put all his money in the bank and live on what she was doing. But you always knew my mom was working, but right through there, she was.
Did you have any chickens?
We did have chickens, and we had a garden. I can't remember where the garden was. I was aiming to ask Joan. I did. Well, the couple that lived out in this little house by the barn, I was in about 7th or 8th grade, and I remember for picture taking day chickens I had. You know, and it was not fixed like a beauty shop, but it was just, and then Mom was close to a friend across the road. But the building process right in there, which is now white settlement, is mostly just scattered here and there. I mean, they did have a school. When they got to do those planes, they were coming, the cars were right over that school, right over that school. What did we learn? We learned the sound of airplanes. So that had beside this school, this way they built what we call liberator buildings. They would build apartments and apartments and apartments, and then they built a few little stores because it was just booming. You stayed on banking because you're 1 mile from the place. Well, to the east of it, see, it's Carswell. They couldn't build that road. Built little cars.
In the middle of
Building around White Settlement.
Okay, resuming recording. And Tucker's bringing Mom's food. About her 10th order. You're talking about Liberty Ridge or Liberty Bridge or?
White Settlement.
Did she or did she not say Liberty something a minute ago?
Liberty Village or Liberator Village?
Liberator Village.
Liberator Village.
Okay, B-24s were called Liberator.
They were, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I took your order.
Are you
So
taking
did-
it?
I'm sorry?
Are you taking it?
Yes, we were recording.
Okay.
So you named it after an airplane?
I guess we did.
Did it look like an airplane?
Wait a minute. Chocolate pudding.
No.
Okay, so you had 160 acres, a house, a barn, and a milk house, and you had tenants all over the place, and you and Aunt Joan slept on the table.
But you understand, some of the time those guys would have moved out, and sometimes we got sleep in bed. Well, it was just like people just in and out. But eventually, they built a high school. Well, I guess it was junior and high school behind the White Settlement Elementary School, which y'all know as Brewer High School. W.C. Brewer High School.
Which y'all know, W.C. Brewer.
And I got to go there 2 weeks.
And then you just finished because you were so smart.
No, we moved out there in the war. But let's back up a little bit. Living down there 4 years, we went to church at Casa Berry for a good while until there was enough people built out here and we built a church in White Settlement. Well, Joan and I could walk there. We did quite much. Sometimes Daddy worked nights so much. Sometimes we would go when they didn't.
Okay.
Shane wondered, did you ever live close enough to go home for lunch from school? Either place, up yonder or down here?
No, I might have.
Well, she worked in the cafeteria making lunch.
I might have some Tioga, but we haven't got the Tioga.
No, we haven't got to talk about that. Okay.
No,
Stick with the chronology.
for her question, no, I didn't.
Not so far.
We carried it. I mean, we take it.
And what'd you take? Was it a syrup bucket like Dad remembers, and was that it?
No, we didn't. I don't remember us taking syrup bucket.
So where'd you take your lunch in?
Your bill is $175.
Just in a brown bag or?
Brown
Okay.
bag. I would say.
Did you carry fried chicken? Or did you have store-bought bologna like Dad never had and he always cried?
We had bologna some. We had chicken some.
Was it fried bologna?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
What time on a school day? What time would you get up?
I don't know, but at school at White Settlement, with that influx of people, with one school, they had to have school twice a day, shifts. Joe and I was with the morning. And they was going after me. So I got up reasonably early.
So what time did school start?
Well, I think it was at 8. I think we went from 8 to 12.
8 to 12. And you
I believe.
and that was junior high?
No, it was elementary.
Elementary.
Junior high. They trucked us to the WC Strip in junior high school in Fort Worth. What we call caddy trucks. It was a long truck. It was enclosed. Around the side it had a Long Beach, Long Beach, Long Beach. A lot of handles. We were just packed in there. We went from White Settlement to Orange Heights, which is southwest of Fort Worth, in Fort Worth. But I mean, it's not close. So I went to junior high there.
At WC Stripling Junior High.
You know, the strippings at the department store?
Yes.
Same man. We had lots of stuff named after him.
I'm sure it does.
Can I take the phone? Are you
Okay, I need to back up to Wolf Ridge. Need to back up to living at Wolf Ridge. Okay, you've always heard about Saturday's butter and eggs day. You go to town on Saturday.
Your bill is $2.
Like country people, I mean, we would take in the eggs, take in the cream that we sold. We sold 5 gallon cans of cream to get to the railroad station every Saturday. And grandmother and granddaddy, Ma and Pa had brown Buff Orpington chickens, so the eggs were brownish, not white. She had a carrier like this to send every dozen to this man, I don't know, in the office. She would sell the eggs to him, we took the cream to the railroad station.
Hey, come on. Did you have dairy cows? So where'd the cream come from?
We had dairy cows,
Okay.
but I don't remember them having, but they probably did. Jersey cows. We'd always go to this little hole in the wall hamburger place, have hamburgers. This little man that was from Italy, I don't know when he came across, but he worked for my 3 uncles in the harvest, but he worked at the hamburger place the rest of the time. He would say, "So Willie, to Dan, to Paul," every word starts with Chuck, Chuck, Chuck.
Say that again?
So Willie, to Paul, he would say, every word had that in front of it, Chuck.
Who's Willie?
Oh, I don't know, his name was Dan. Willard. Willard was his.
Ink process.
Okay, so is this where your love of burgers originated?
Well, probably. Then, Aunt Rosie and I would get a dime and just go to movies. I mean, and Grandmother's Spartan would just sit in the car and watch people go by, but Joan and I were talking about that this weekend, says probably half of the county would come by and visit with her, she was busy all evening, sitting in the car. Like to watch people go by. So, in those years, Paul was still alive. I don't know what he was doing. He was probably out walking the streets. But if I could just be with them, Mom and Dad went every Saturday too, but it seemed like, I don't even remember them eating hamburgers, it seemed like it was just Mom and Pa and Rosie.
So what would your folks do while you and Aunt Joan went to the movie?
I'm sure I don't think.
Okay.
Sure. One thing that seems
I can't picture Granddaddy Hemphill shopping for nothing.
I mentioned to Joan the other day, I said, one thing I remember happened well, I remember 2 things happened in 1939. One time, the movie Gone with the Wind came out, and my mom and dad didn't see it. We had rain that day and killed all the little baby turkeys.
Oh.
But in that year, at Christmas time, we had a Montgomery Ward's retail store. They had out this little paperback folder that was when Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer hit the country. Montgomery Ward. We had a copy. Yes, we did. We did. Okay.
Your folks went to see Gone with the Wind at the theater.
Well, yeah. And they went to see all the Thin Man series movies. I never could realize that, but they did.
You're kidding. Wow.
Grandmother would say that they could have built a house if they would have skipped one of the movies.
No.
And they were what, quarter a ticket or something, you could have done anyway.
Well,
They could have built a house.
the Westerns on Saturday night were 10
6
cents.
waffles,
Okay, let's get back to Castleberry, which is not Castleberry, White Settlement. We went to Castleberry.
Okay, then we like 2 of each.
2.5 years at church, and then we did White Settlement. So we went to
Is that when Mr. Lincoln was the preacher?
My t-shirt strips.
Abe Lincoln.
Please get off my t-shirt strips. I haven't
Just
done
say
it.
yes.
Okay, I'll say yes. I don't remember. I remember Cleo
Please
Jones
get off.
How can you not remember a preacher in a stovepipe hat?
because he wasn't.
It could have come a little bit later.
What'd you say?
Okay, when the war came along,
I said nothing.
Daddy was dismissed from Consolidated. We had owned this farm at Tauga. We moved to Tauga.
You're on it, MM.
Spent a year and a half in high school at Tauga.
What was the mascot?
Eagles, green and white.
Do you have a school letter anymore?
No school letter.
No green and white tee?
Well, I was in the pep squad, but just green and white. No one asked me today where it was Gunner, and I said it's the other side, east of Tauga, about 12, 15 miles. I've been to a football game there. Okay, so Dad was cutting wood out of the farm. Mom was raising the garden, helping him on the farm.
Thank you for coming.
Billy came and lived with us a while, and he helped Dad cut wood.
I just held it when I was stolen.
Cut wood from where? It's all prairie up
No,
there.
it's not. On our farm, wooded area.
Oh, you're on Tioga right now. You're cutting wood.
Yeah.
Do you remember the place? Because mine's about. Where did y'all go to cut firewood up on the ridge? Granny had a name for that place. Do you remember?
The wood cutting place.
I don't know, I can remember the place we went to pick up pecans. It was a family named Thompson.
I am using
It wasn't Lois, it was probably kin to him, but I can't remember. Probably he went towards Marysville to cut wood, because he went
It was towards Marysville.
he went toward Marysville to pick berries.
Said you just, the air didn't move there. It was just real kind of down in a draw. So did you girls ever make trips to cut the firewood and load the firewood?
I don't remember.
We
doing
did.
it. They said that one time when I was just little, that I'd pick up all these acres and I was piling them on a
what?
stump of wood and says, Daddy, I put beans for you. I don't remember going with him to cut wood.
Sharon remembers that you made your kids breakfast and packed them lunches. What did your mom fix for y'all's typical breakfast?
Gravy and eggs. Bacon. Either bacon or sausage with gravy and eggs. He knows he's been there.
Oh, I was just telling him. Just the way he said it was. was.
Okay, we're in Tauga. They looked into me a little house cleaning job from this little widow that had used an old bank building and made her home. Well, it was
Oh,
her
Becca's fantasy.
See, I would call her Miss Cahoon, but that's not right. I can't remember her name. But I was.
Did she sleep in the vault?
I was 14. Probably not. I don't know. I just know you had a hallway long, and then the room this way, and room this way, and room this way, and room this way, and then somewhere along it you went down 2 stairs. But anyway, I cleaned house for that. One thing about living in Tauga we love, because Emily and the kids lived just 2 blocks from us.
Cousins?
Uncle Bill wasn't back yet. When he was in the Navy, he wasn't back yet, and we were just with those cousins. So then when he got back, lo and behold, bought this farm over by there, and they moved away from us.
Is that the one that they lived on when we knew him? The reunion would be?
Well, this is a little bit bigger, but Sharon asked which cousins did you get to play with or spend time with. So Tioga, I could have guessed that one, but the other part I don't know.
Okay, at Wolf Ridge, they're the same cousins, Sally and Texima. I remember when Judy was born. Mom, Bill and Lee would come over and they would play cards with Mom and Dad, if you can believe that. Cards?
Your parents played cards? Your dad played cards?
Well, I remember us kids being on the table where they were playing. Long dining room table. We'd be on there playing
Cards.
cards. So I'm sure if Daddy was playing 42 with somebody, it was going to be on the Hempfield side.
Didn't he later play 42 with Uncle Sam and Uncle Dick?
Yeah, but then you'd have to make a trip from Fort Worth there back.
Is he hurting you?
I don't remember him playing things with them when we lived on Wolf Ridge. All I remember is Bill and Emily.
Huh? Huh?
They probably did. Just stick.
So what were your favorite foods growing up?
Well, it was definitely not spinach.
Okay.
I think most any other food, definitely not liver. Those two things,
I'm sorry, what was the second one?
liver.
Not liver. Liver and spinach. Out. Okay. I can agree with that.
I like pretty much everything that we have. Of course, I've learned of lots of other foods since then that I didn't have.
So who made cherry pie that you liked?
So she was used to cream pies more in her family, but Dad liked fruit pies best, of course. She'd make the others. But the fruit pies would be because Dad liked them. Now, my grandpa Sparkman, sometime or other had some parts she never did wear that I saw, and so she would make cream pies. She would even grind up the pecans to make cream pies that he could eat or gum. Grind up pecans.
Grind up
You
pecans
can do that.
to put in a cream pie.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Never heard.
That was before we ever heard of the syrup pies like people now make. I mean, foods just change. They have a way of changing some people.
Huh. So in school, what was your favorite subject?
Anything but science.
Anything except. Do any particular teachers stick out in your memory?
In high school,
Other than the one who lived with you?
in high school, and this main teacher that drove out from Fort Worth that taught algebra, he was one of my favorites. Back in grade school, I had a teacher named Miss Ritchie. I like Miss Ritchie real well, so she taught everything. My first grade teacher was Miss Hickerson. She taught everything.
Miss Hickerson was your first grade teacher. You remember that.
But there's been 40 teachers since that I don't remember their names.
Do you remember the name of my first grade teacher?
Just the name. Well, at the moment I don't.
I'm surprised.
Well, you didn't have any secret.
I did not. No. In fact, we were talking with someone just recently who have a set of twins. And their twins are in the same class. And I said, Carol and I were never allowed to be in the same class. And only in junior high and high school, the only time those were in the same class was in electives.
Did you have Miss Winters?
Yes.
First grade?
Yes. And of course, Miss Myers / Mrs. Tucker saved my life. Thank you.
I remember that day.
God bless her.
I remember that
So when did you switch from Tioga to Haslett?
day. Granddad was called back January of 47. Or see, I was in Tioga 46 and half of 47. He was called back. So we moved in the snow and the ice. That may be comparable to 100-degree heat for both bodies.
Extreme.
So we moved in that little place down on 5 acres, about 2 miles from From 47 until 55 we lived there. Went to school at Haslett, rode the school bus.
So what was the mascot of Haslett High?
It's Eagles.
Eagles.
Maroon and white.
And then North Texas was Eagles.
Green.
All you could do was Eagles.
That's all I could be.
Where did you eat at college? Or did you just start off at that?
I started at the hot house.
You started?
I worked there in the summer, one semester, to get me used to the job before we had the big influx of regular semester. And that was pretty big at the school. It was much smaller. So I always ate at hot house.
Where'd you live?
Hot house.
You lived and worked at the Hop House.
Well, they had a two-story house, had been a family home named Hopkins, just the word Hop. They come across next to it and built this big dining.
Okay.
And I worked in the office place when they
Did you sleep on the table?
No, bed there.
Nice.
On the second year, Aunt Jean was in the room next to me. I was in this room, this room. She lived in the house.
Did you meet her before you met Dad?
No.
Okay.
Knew him a year before I knew her. She was still in high school.
How old were you when you started college? 15. When did you turn 16?
In July.
The next month?
Did you have either a dorm mother or else some lady at church that was very much like a mother to you? Or?
It's not a, well, we had a lady live in the house. Her name was Lily something. She just had the
Lily Marlene?
first room. We had 26 girls lived there.
26?
Wow.
Well, there was a whole downstairs,
Yeah.
nice big house.
Yeah.
Whole bunch upstairs, whole bunch downstairs.
How did you live there all the years you were in school? Okay. So what was a typical menu at the Hop House for lunch?
Well, it's not our week. I'm just checking. I was gonna run with Darcy if we're gonna be here.
We'll be here a while.
I think you have time. Go in the mall?
We're gonna go. She's gotta go to some store. I don't know.
It was just regular plain food. It was,
I understand, but would the menu change from day to day, or was it the same fare every day?
oh yeah, it was called family style. You have this, you hold your hand up when you need a plate of dish or something. They just kept bring people bring their own. And Debbie and Jenny both wash dishes. I was in front piece. I never did work anywhere in the back. Always said
That's good. They put the lookers out front. The lookers. They serve 3 meals a day?
yes. Well, they did in the summer. They didn't in the long term. Because I always walked to get to the campus, which was half. It was a little bookstore, and they had a little snack area. I always had donut and milk. So why do I like donuts?
I don't know.
Same place where I like burgers.
All right, backtrack. You may have said this. What was the name of the guy who cooked the burgers? Do you remember?
Dan.
Dan.
I don't know. I don't know if I ever knew his last name. It was Italian.
Chadan.
Because Uncle Paul was Italian, his brother John lived across the street road from them. They're both Italian. Rivor is an Italian name. Some way,
Sounds French.
I think they may have been born in America, but their parents have immigrated. That's what I think.
Okay.
And this Dan was just a friend and
We'll be back.
came with them or came later. He was happy. But he would help. See, my 3 uncles had this harvest machine going. They'd do harvesting all over the county. And lots of guys would work for him. Dan always worked for him. Well, maybe Dan had died before the war, but he really had.
Much later, some of the reporters got to go over there and research in Europe.
They researched Dan?
I don't know, maybe.
Probably researched the metal roots.
Yes.
Were they kin to the Harwells? Were they kin to the Harwells?
Well, probably they would think so.
Okay. So you transferred to, you moved and began at Haslett High.
Yes.
Okay. So you went there a year and a half?
Yes, so that was my junior year. And at graduation, I got a Medal of Honor at graduation.
Congressional Medal of Honor?
No, it's just a medal, just an honor medal.
From the Haslett School District? Or?
Brady, did you take the clamp?
And then next year I was valedictorian.
So your junior year you got Medal of Honor.
Where is it then?
I still got it
Where? I've never seen it.
in my dresser drawer.
I've never heard of it.
I'm glad you're learning it.
I'm learning a lot.
Who did take it, do you know?
Now,
Rode school bus from out there to go 6 miles.
not a cattle truck, school
Did you
bus.
take the clamp?
Yes.
Is it blue or yellow?
Yellow.
It's regulation color.
Let's see, must have been in the junior play, probably senior play too.
What was the name of the play?
I don't remember. In Tioga, we were going to play, and one of my classmates, daddy died.
In the play?
His funeral was the day we were supposed to do that play. So of course we postponed doing the play. I mean, Tioga was 600 people. Small. At his funeral, first time I ever had seen him.
She and Dad made sure that was not our first experience at high school. First grade, come sing.
You can tell Kay that we got to the funeral subdivision.
Anyway, we got there.
And then see, we did the play, but see, since it wasn't on the first day it had been advertised, it seemed like there weren't as many there as would have been. Because in a town like that, you didn't.
Well, you know that guy wasn't going to be there. There was one less than.
He couldn't have gone anyway. He'd been sick a long time. Now, do you remember me telling you he was singing at church when at Tioga?
Oh, wait. Gene Autry.
His name was Keys, Brother Keys.
Or rather Irish.
Okay, well, back up and go ahead and tell us on tape who led the singing at Wolf Ridge. Who are the ones that you remember taking turns?
Chadad, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Well, I can't even remember. I knew Uncle Edward was visiting and wouldn't leave the song I asked for.
Well,
You requested a song and he turned it down?
He said it was too hard.
What'd you ask for? Paradise Valley?
No. He arose. I mean,
Okay.
I was just a little kid and I asked that, and I still remember he would not leave that. No. I can't remember who they'd sing. Dad must have let it sing.
Your dad?
Yeah.
okay, tell who led from the seat though.
My grandmother Hemphill.
Now that much all the cousins agree on for sure.
I can only imagine that if your dad was leading singing, it was the slowest paced song ever. Just can't imagine.
Can you remember well enough to describe for us children about how that the ladies would sing them in after class?
Were they all out smoking?
The ones they were out smoking, when they got through smoking, they would sing them in.
Nope, I don't remember that.
Okay.
I remember coming in from our class, well, I had to sit with those older cousins, don't you know? Now, I don't know who I was talking to, but Mildred Frederick was Kemper's man, Mildred Kemper. She got after me for talking. Never forgot that.
Okay, well, Grady has a question for you, Grandma.
Okay.
Have you ever met a boy named Grady besides me?
Yes, in grade school, I was in the same class with a boy named Grady. And then in high school, there was a boy that rode our school bus named Grady Powell. The first one was, I think, Grady Thompson. I've known those two named Grady before they were married.
Then at church, didn't we sit behind them? Who am I thinking of?
We may have right now, it escapes me.
No, it wasn't Grady. I'm on the wrong.
Grady Powell?
Grady. I'm on the wrong name. Sorry.
Wasn't wrong with
Close.
that one.
Is this
Okay, tell us a little bit about your aunts and uncles that you feel like influenced you.
Well, we lived so close to Uncle Paul and Aunt Rena, 2 miles from them. Uncle Wood and Aunt Pearl, 40 miles to the east. Uncle Tom and Aunt Bill, 1/4 mile to the west. Bill and Emily, 3 miles to the west. Rosie lived at home still. I guess Sam did too. All of them influenced me because we were with them much. We were with them. I mean, like if one of those aunts was gonna need to can up something, lots of fruit, Mom would go help them. If she was doing it, they'd come help her. It was just a joint thing that the people worked together. Like when foods or crops would come in. Then, went to church with most of them. And we'd be dinner at our house one Sunday and at their house. And Uncle Joe came to their house often. Those older cousins just thought Uncle Joe was be it.
Meaning your dad,
My dad.
Wait just a second.
And which one gave you piano lessons?
Uncle Joe.
Anytime I went to take Rena's Rank Pearls, I was trying to pick out on the piano. But I took lessons when we lived in a white settlement.
You took lessons?
Yes.
From who?
I don't know, somebody in the white settlement community, and see, we didn't even have a piano. So what
That'd be
prac-
hard to
what practice-
practice.
I was practicing every time I went to Rena's Rank Pearls.
But you could not have gone very often during the war years.
No, we didn't. We had rationing of so many things in the war.
Right.
So I never did get to that.
You know, when they were rationing pianos, that was just tough.
I probably didn't take over a year. It may not have taken a year, but anyway, I did take lessons for a while. My problem was I played by ear and not by notes, and so I didn't do too well taking them because I would just sit down and pick out something, not do it by the music.
So which cousins would have been the age to be in your school classes? Any of them?
Just a second, Grayson. I need to leave. I need to
Well, I know Jake was when I fell off his horse. Marcia would have been close to my age. See, Sally and Texema wouldn't have gone to Woodford, so they would have gone to Hayes. So they were never in my school class. We saw them all the time, but not at school. We did that one year at Hayes after the consolidation.
Right.
I don't know besides Marcia. Boyd. Boyd was my age.
We'll see if Clint knows the story about who built Grandma Sparkman's house and how they lived beside each other.
Noah.
Okay, I don't know who built it, but I remember
Uncle
Uncle Bill built that house.
Bill built the house that I remember, but you were telling me this is the new part to me was that where they lived beside it. In other words, they had to leave the fridge.
Had to leave Roofway, and so they bought this farm, which is I think 8 acres. Had an old farmhouse, but it really needed
He was a
work.
fixer-upper?
I don't think it was good enough to fix it up, but they lived in it while Bill built this house. But they kept a kitchen, which was a little bitty porch, which had been sort of screened in, and that was her washroom. You might remember, you might not, go out her back door and just right across there into that room. So she carried the water, and some of the time she carried the water, carried her laundry out there and did it. That was always her washroom. Then,
He didn't have running water?
she should have had water in that house from the first house. But over this side of her house, her new house, was the garage. Well, this was a long ways to go to the back of the house. One Thanksgiving, we all banded down there, and they built her a garage right back here, right next to that washroom, which was much closer to her back door. Then it wasn't very many years that she got to use that, but Joan was asking me, can you remember what year she had to give up and live with the kids? I says, no, I can't. In '62, she broke her arm, and she had to go around and live with different kids for a while, but she went back to her house and lived some years.
You talking about Ma?
More. And I can't remember the year.
Your neighbor down here has a car that looks just like Grandma's old car.
Good night.
I mean, it's old.
It was a 36, 36 Ford.
Fucking Texas Centennial.
Okay.
It's a few blocks. It's not on this block. I don't mean that neighbor, but but right in here.
Okay, where do we go now? I graduated.
Well, you mentioned 2 different school plays. Do you remember what roles you played?
Can you tell him either one of Aunt Jones' plays?
No, I remember Aunt Jones played. I just remember she did not tell Mom and Dad, but in this play she played a drunk. She got
That's the.
Ray Sturman went with us to see that play, and that's driving like nearly 100 miles. Weeknight, of course. But it was so funny. It was just so funny. She had a song.
Were they surprised?
Very surprised. I don't think they were mad though, because they knew it was just a play. But I hope they weren't. I don't remember. Went to Denton in the summer that I had graduated. Now, I don't know how I got that job, but they wanted me to come and learn the job before the big influx of students came in, because we worked with meal tickets. We issued those for a month, and you were not supposed to let somebody else use your meal ticket. That's how they could do it and function as a co-op. So it was our job to learn those people. Don't let them use it. I learned them pretty well. If it was 30 days on the first of the month, we set up tables out front to issue meal tickets. If it wasn't pretty, we had to do it inside. But then they used that meal ticket for a month. And start again. I worked at that desk. So this one day, this guy pitched his car keys. So I'll see you when you get off. Isn't that right?
So you began working at the Hop House in June of '48.
Well, probably a little into, probably 1st of July.
Okay.
Usually, but
Were you taking summer classes?
I did take a class, yes. Probably took 2, but maybe just 1, I don't know.
Do you know what it was?
I don't know. Not at this age. Uh-uh.
Who were some of your college friends?
Those 26 girls in that house. Okay, we won't say 26 girls in that house, although, they were. The 2 Presswoods from Grand Saline, the 2 that were cousins, the 2 Houston girls from, where were they from? Toller. 2 or 3 girls that were from a little town near Decatur. One of them was my roommate, Pat Key, at Winder.
Do you still keep in touch with her?
Occasionally, because I do have her email.
Where does she live?
Steamboat. And then, of course, then Jenny, and then her roommate. Sometimes we'd have different roommates through the years. She lived in the room next to me, but I never was Jenny's roommate. Her roommate was Jenny somebody. Anyway, some of those people that ate at the Hop House, you would just get to know them, and you'd see them on campus, and so I consider them friends. But the close friends was the knit group that went to church together.
How many were in that group?
Probably 12, 15.
And they all fit in Dad's car?
Well, no, there were 2 brothers from Highland Park that had gone to ACU and then came to Denton. They were in our group. And 2 or 3, 4 other guys. One was named Jim. I forgot what, red-headed Jim. And then there's another guy that Jimmy dated some, and I can't remember his name either. But anyway, they do things around town together.
Well, how old were you when Suzette was born?
I liked a little bit, a month or 2 being 15.
So you were a senior in high school when she was born?
I was fixing to be. She was 47, I graduated in 48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when your brother was born?
13.
13? How did that impact your family?
Well, it was just very, very sad. Mom didn't get to go to the funeral. All that group of relatives from Gainesville, of course, were there because, a lot of them settled near to Gainesville. We still had cousins and all there. So it was just a sad time.
How did it impact you?
Well, I had a brother and now I don't. And, it's just very sad. Well, it would have been the same if it had been, if it had been a girl, it would have been the same. But being a boy, Mom and Dad would always say, I don't know if she ever said it as much, he'd always say, our boys all turn out to be girls. I don't know, he had some saying, it was always, but he didn't go into the story that we had a boy, and I was thinking he'd just say, our family turned out to be girls.
What would you say were some of Granddad's favorite hymns? Do you remember as being some of his favorite hymns?
Okay, Uncounted Day. Well, his favorites changed as the years
Through
went
the
by.
years.
Because at his funeral, Uncle Edgar wanted to lead some that he liked way back there. He said, we probably got the songs made out. And we tried to pick his favorites.
Gleam at the Mansion?
Well,
Or
that's
is it-
very, that much in there.
Or is that the same song?
No, that's a different song. And then, there's one that I could say the other day, but I can't say it. I can't remember it. You can think I remember an awful lot, but I can't.
Well, you can always go back and add it in.
Oh, yes. And that's how memories do. Some of them will just bubble up when you're least
Least
expecting.
expecting,
They'll just
yeah.
come back to you. But was it 19 times in the chorus when he'd be singing the bass for us about coming to the church in the Wildwood?
Church in Wildwood.
I think it's 19 times.
It
It's
is
a lot.
19, Alto does it 19 times too.
Well, what about Grandmother? What favorite songs you link with Grandmother?
Becca said, "Take Time to Be Holy" was one that she'd go around singing. I thought, I never heard her go around singing that, but that had to be one of them. And there's one about there's no crepe on the doorknob, there's no da-da-da. I remember her singing that one day when she was working on a dress for me. We were doing alterations on it, and she was just singing that away. I thought, and I never have, I don't know why I remember that, but she sang that day. There's no disappointment in heaven, is that the name of it? And I seem like all of them liked in the Sweet By and By. I remember my grandpa singing that so much. I can't remember any more particular songs that were their favorites.
Well, in later years, she liked the one about "I Know the Lord Will Find a Way for Me," but that would have been later,
Yeah, that's later.
just because it's more contemporary.
And see, that was some of Carl and Ann's boys, I know the Lord will find a way for me. And I didn't even go, but I heard that was sung there.
Who taught you to drive? Stumped.
Well, that
Jake on the horseback.
that was a good question. I didn't do very well, fell off.
Well, we didn't say you did a good
Had
job.
to be Mom and Dad.
At the place south of the 5 acres, did they have a little bit of acreage that you could drive out in the pasture like they did with the granddaughters?
Yeah.
So is that where you learned?
Wasn't quite as smooth.
Did you drive out in that pasture with them?
I probably did. So I don't remember that per se. I remember the day she took me to get that driver's license
Where?
on East Lancaster in Fort Worth. So the first thing they did was parallel parking, and she was sitting there watching. She said, "Well, at least I'm going further."
She didn't have much confidence.
Well, she saw me. She saw me do it. See, she was sitting up there. But I passed. Anyway.
Never heard that one before. What vehicle were you driving?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever they had. at the
Moss
time.
36 Ford?
No. Now, going to a meeting at Valley View when I was staying with Ma and Rosie, I would go up there sometimes for 2 or 3 weeks right before time for a college semester and pick cotton to get some clothes. So I was probably up there and we went to this meeting. So on the way to the meeting, we were singing "When the Road is Called Up Yonder." And we were in that Ford. I can use it today.
I have 4 of these.
Did you date anyone at Denton before that you met Dad?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, just a time or two. I think just a couple.
Who?
Well, one of them was named Leon.
Chilean?
Probably other than I think was named Doug. But one time we were going to a basketball game in Dallas, and so this guy that also worked at while I was working at ate at the Hop House. He was talking to Debbie and says, "We're going to that game in Dallas. I'm thinking about acting like the girl that works in there." Debbie said, "Too late." But we found somebody else and they went with us. Well, I had thought of something I was going to say now. I can't remember which segment I was supposed to be in.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, but I don't know when.
I don't mind.
About how long would you say you worked as a secretary at the church there at Flow House? A couple of years?
Boy, you skipped forward several years.
I don't think it was
I
quite
thought
that,
no one told me to go
Oh.
forward.
I don't think it was quite that long. I just went on Mondays and did the bulletin. That's all I did for him.
Did y'all ever mail out the bulletins? Or just hand
I
out?
think we did mail that some.
You prepped the bulletin on Monday for the following Sunday?
I think. I always work
That's
Mondays.
a
Always work
week's worth of news you could miss.
But they could make it, if Brother Copeland was out in a meeting, the ladies, they could just make the bulletin.
Well, they knew.
They knew how to put one together.
So what did you think when you first found out you were expecting your first child?
Well, couldn't imagine what it would be like. Couldn't imagine having a baby. It'd just be so special.
And what did you think when you first held your firstborn?
Oh, I thought it was this great. This great.
It's not what I was told. You thought, I can do better than this.
Why is he wearing that dress? So, did you ever have any difficulties with any of your pregnancies?
Just the regular morning sickness and stuff like that. Now, before your twins were born, I guess it would be the extra load. So my back was hurting, and I had to have a sort of a brace. It wasn't metal, but I had to wear this brace thing for a month or so. Well, Uncle Charles thought I had trouble trying to get through a door right before y'all were born. They had to come by there on vacation and said she couldn't hardly get her foot to go across that doorstep. No, I really didn't have problems with being pregnant. It was just the normal.
So, what did you think when your last baby was born? So I'm done.
Probably thought that, yeah. Thought, well, he was sure big. He's bigger than Laura.
You were? What did you think when you're... Oh, we just ran out of disc. I gotta reload. Okay, Mom, we're back. What did you think when Weldon first started school? Day one of grade 1.
One less mouth to feed today. I don't know. I remember a picture of him holding that little farm. That's big.
There's a picture of that?
Somewhere.
For day 1 of first grade?
Yes.
I don't remember you taking that picture for the rest of us.
I didn't.
Who was Weldon's first grade teacher?
Miss Seaver.
That's Carol.
Miss Williams.
It's
Oh,
Laura. Mine was Miss Harris.
Miss Harris.
I just called her Mom.
Now, was that Harold? Because you weren't living on Winna.
I was too. We moved on when
Oh, wait.
he was 3. When
When
he
he
was
was 3. Okay. So which first day of school of your children was the hardest for you?
Well, when I took them or when they got home? When they got home, the hardest was Laura crying from 5th grade. Oh, mercy. His life made her cry,
But she was crying in that morning, I remember.
7th grade, Laura was crying too. 7th grade was hard for an adjustment to go into junior high for some reason. I don't know, it just seemed like it all runs together. I don't remember first days of all of you particularly.
So what were you thinking when Weldon walked across the stage at Midwestern?
Oh my, did we really get this far? Did we really get here? I mean, it's a great milestone.
You didn't think Weldon would make it? Or?
No, it's just you think, when you started first grade, you think, are you ever going to achieve that? And now I've seen 7 of you achieve it. Unreal.
So of all your children's grade school teachers, which ones stand out for you?
Well, Miss Seaver, because I see her every once in a while. And the music teacher y'all had.
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Or did you mean Miss Aldridge?
We got both.
Okay.
Both. Because Miss Jenkins was our customer at the store for a long time afterwards. And I don't think we ever had this teacher, but in junior high, Nolan and Gilbert had Mrs. somebody.
And Schneider.
Ann Schleider. I got acquainted with her more being a customer at the store years after they had her as a teacher. And she would say, those teachers would say, just give us another can. Please give us another can. And they only had 2 of them. They only had 2 of them. And then one teacher in high school or junior high on Beach, which she was a black teacher, I don't remember her name.
Emperor Robert.
Emperor Roberts. And every time we went over there for open house, she wasn't even a teacher of my kids. We had to go in her room too. She just, so special. She said the begins were just so special. So special. Then I had her as a customer at English class.
Okay, so where did which one of your children had Miss Roberts?
None. Oh, here was second girl.
At junior high
I think it,
or at Burgess?
not good.
6th grade, Kirby Middle School.
You went to 6th grade at Kirby?
Yes.
What did she teach?
English.
But even after his 1 year, I mean, we had to go in her room every time. It just didn't matter if we had 30 more to see. We go in her room. Yeah.
Velma.
Thelma.
With a T. Thelma
Thelma.
Robert.
Thank you.
So do you have any special memories of Harrell Elementary School?
Halloween.
Fun night?
Fun night. There was this girl named Susie that was in Nolan's grade. In the 4th grade, they had 8 children in their family. Dad was Frankenstein, I think 2 different years. You know, had the platforms on his shoes and the black jacket with the shoulder pads, and they'd go around to the lunchroom and put flour in his hair. And he'd walk through this halls and just scare those kids. And then he'd get at the end of this tunnel they'd crawl through and sleep. But Susie's mom, in later years, when she just died last year, every time she came in that store, she'd say, Miss Gann, I remember your husband being Frankenstein at Halloween. And I mean, now get this, her girls would say, Mom, we want you to give us this recipe that you made last week. She says, I never made that in my life. But she remembered Dad being Frankenstein. She couldn't tell you. Next week, she could tell you what the recipe was, and then she'd go in and out, but she remembered Mr. Dad being Frankenstein. I remember from Harold those times we had to go speak with some teacher. Like you for Miss Thing, and Nolan in the music. And Dad didn't go with me to talk to his music teacher,
What was the conference about Nolan?
singing a religious song with music. And I think it was for Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
Who was the teacher?
It's not the time I was remembering.
I can't remember. I'm sorry to remember her.
Mrs. Casey.
Casey.
So what occasion is he remembering?
Okay. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to tell at this time.
These are her memories.
But when, I don't remember which kid had the receiver, because 2 or 3 ones had her, and Carol had her. But anyway, her husband worked with your dad.
Didn't everybody?
You got room to talk. So, receiver went home saying, we've got so many militaries, we can't get anybody to be room mothers because they're so crunchy. So, he said to Dad, do you think your wife could be a room mother? Well, I didn't think I could. He said, little kids, calm down. Dad says, if you will be her room mother, I will help you as much as I can. He'd bring donuts over there on donut sale day, and just, he did some of the thing of being like a room mother.
I remember seeing him walk the halls with trays and trays and
Donuts.
trays of donuts.
Oh, donuts.
Greatest fundraiser
I'd take them
ever.
right now. I don't need it.
So that about caps it.
Okay, what about,
Well, one high school friend, he was with the singing group that got to go to Dallas, and Dad got to be a chaperone for that trip. I think we no longer have the record. I don't know if we still have it or not.
I do. We came by the horse ranch, Byron Nelson, and Dad made the point to the students that he always, wherever his golf took him, he always made a point on Sunday to be with the Christians and worshiping.
okay, any special memories from Hershey?
Hershey, going to football games and basketball games and all y'all earning honors from there. And then the one year they put a little page spread in the corner about me and Dad. About going to so many
Credit giver.
ball games and
What'd you say? Credit giver?
Credit giver.
Gilbert.
You got that done?
I helped.
I don't remember you being on the annual staff.
Not the honors part.
I remember Miss Hudson.
Lola Pearl.
I remember Miss Wells.
Miss Wells. Oh, everyone else, you say, well, I knew this guy or lady so much more as a customer. Mr. Underwood.
Mr. Underwood. Oh, my land's in. Because he taught math to all y'all except Joe, I think.
He didn't teach Carol. She dropped him.
She dropped him.
I think she was in there a week and she dropped geometry. Says, I'm out of here.
Well,
Easiest math A I ever got.
he was so innovative as a teacher. All I ever.
Innovative and high energy. I don't know how he did it. But anyway. Okay. Well, let's go back to a little more personal memories.
Be careful.
Tell us about Dad.
But what about Dad?
Him. You married him.
Yes. I went with him 2.5 years for 2.5 years. Now, I tried to get him for us to get married sooner than we did. And he said no, because see, Bill had polio, and he said, I just need to be able to help my brother and his family right now. I need to get out of college first. Which he did need to get out of college first. So, it was,
How did he help Uncle Arthur? Okay.
I don't know if he helped him some monetarily or just supportive. I expect he would help him some. But right then, I just didn't know. Just didn't know.
Okay, so you dated 2.5 years. Where did he propose?
Well, I think it was always just sort of agreed that we were going to get married. I'm not sure he actually.
Okay, where did you propose?
I don't remember. I remember the time, about 6 to 8 weeks before we got married, we went to Fort Worth and bought the rings. I remember that. It was either 6 or 8 weeks before we married.
Where did you get your marriage license? Was it in Denton?
I think it would have to be Wichita. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Did you get a marriage license?
Yes,
Okay.
it did.
So, was there any significance to the wedding date that you picked?
No,
Okay.
just 2. Now, he graduated February 1st, 1951. Had a job to go to February 21st. That's how fast he got a job. Because this guy that had been their IE teacher in Denton took a whole cluster with him to get jobs up there as he went up there. One of them was Jess Woodard. He's still there. He may be retired, I don't know. But anyway.
So what about your early years of marriage? And him, specifically?
All the time for I guess that's where Willem was born. I typed lesson plans for him and for a lot of his co-workers. Wore out that Underwood typewriter with the tabs that we set because the outlines went way down. I did lots and lots of typing.
Did they pay you? I mean, not Dad, but did the rest of them?
I think they did pay a little bit. Anyway, that was what I did. Right then I remember I read a lot also, like I'm doing now. Then
You mean novels? What was your source? Public library? Or?
public library, I guess. I just don't remember. I just remember I read.
Did you have a library card?
If you had to have them, I had one. I'm sure I did. I just don't remember the library as such. It's just I always had a book.
I always had a book.
Oh, we spent a lot of time at the Copeland's house, of course. They were just like another set of parents to us. Went home to Hammond and Saginaw nearly every weekend. For a long time.
Nearly every weekend?
Hey, we used to stay all weekend. Now, see, we run down here for a day. We were late for a day. We used to stay.
So how did things change for Dad when y'all became parents?
I just think he was just a natural born dad, just a good dad. I don't know what you mean by change. I mean, it's a big change in your life, as you know, because you have kids. You just take it as it comes and do each day as it comes. He led songs a lot at church, even with us being gone that much. Sometimes we'd be home on the weekend.
Did you help him pick out songs?
Yes. I did.
Did you always pick out alto leads?
No.
No?
I don't think we used to sing as many alto leads as we do now.
Did he have veto power and
Yes.
turn you down if it was too difficult?
Yeah, but see, I don't particularly remember on a certain song like I did that in
Okay.
Wow, that was a memory.
Now, I email Uncle Ed, your son, all the time. I don't hold him against the son.
Still upset?
And then see, in later years, for a while, that was Sawyer's favorite song. He wanted to sing that every time. Now, he got past it because he's had some different favorite songs since then. I'll say, well, this song? No, that's not my favorite anymore either. His favorites keep changing.
Aunt Patsy talks about some of the funniest things that she ever saw Uncle Arthur and Dad do. What do you picture in that category?
One of them was in that parade in Graham, dressed like they were, and them on that old wagon, and the kids riding in the back, and he taking pictures. But another thing, we were out Hammond, it's like a New Year's Eve, I think, and passing off over there, and just us. Well, we decided we'd like to go into Hammond, get a Coke or something. Heck, you couldn't do that during the night, but anyway, Grandma and Granny were going to keep the kids, and we were going to go. Well, it's pitch dark. We go out that back door at that house. In the back, that old back room, you know, that sort of porch built on. Then they picked up a old hood thing, like it was like furry. I don't know, big wearing in Russia or somewhere. I don't know what Granddad had that on his head and got in the hood and started out going west. Well, town was east. And we were just sitting there following him, just dying laughing. I don't know what was so funny, but it was. And I'm not sure we ever even got to temple. It was just something we were going to do. Another time, this is much later, with kids a little bigger, on July 4th, Arthur and Patsy and us decided we would go to the lake and not take kids. So we left my kids at Hempel's and theirs at Anderson's. We got to the lake, fine and dandy. Here came Kramer and Granddad, Kate and JP, and like everybody and their dogs. But we were still there without kids. It was a fun weekend. But we had lots of fun with kids down there too. It was just something we did. Thought we'd like to do that.
But now, where was Moscow held? Hamlin, or is that the lake? Or is that what it was even called, Moscow?
That's probably
That's
the one,
pictures.
probably at Hammond. That's probably at Hammond.
Okay, Kay didn't make it, but can you tell us the story about Uncle Demo and Dad going shopping? Some kind of netting they were going to get?
Oh, yes,
Netting?
material, dress material. Patsy, nope, no, not Patsy. Jeannie and my roommate Pat and I in college were taking some kind of course.
Home economics.
It was a home economics course, but you had to have this dress up dinner, and we had to have long dresses. So we were all at Hamlin, and we had to go. We were looking for material. I think for Jenny a dress. I think Pat and I already had one, but we were looking. And I don't know how come Uncle Demo was with us. He probably drove us. I mean, we could all drive, but we went from Hamlin to Everett and go in this shop. No, I wouldn't do in this shop. And drug him through all these shops hunting dress material.
You took Uncle Demo
Took up the
Abilene. I didn't
to
know
Abilene.
yeah,
Dress material shopping.
yeah.
Wow.
I guess Aunt Fern was with us too, because she probably made the dress for Jenny. I'm sure she did.
Was that for a seamstress?
Oh my, yes, yes. She was a seamstress. Made so much of their kids' clothing, and then she and Demo made like doll furniture, and she'd be making the clothes for the dolls, and they would be up through the night Christmas Eve getting all this done while kids were sleeping. She sewed so much. Sewed so much.
Huh.
Just like Aunt Joan.
I did not know.
And cook. She could really cook good too.
And Fern. Where is someplace that you've always wanted to, you always dreamed of going to, and you've never gotten to go?
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
You have not heard that. Some of these guys have heard it.
Well, Grady is ready to take you.
Well, that's us. I will not get there, but it's just always sound like the place I would want to go.
Okay, what about within the U.S.?
In the U.S.
A little more doable.
I turned down lots of trips in the U.S. just to go to Carol's. Always to Carol's. I guess the New England states in the fall. See leaves. There's a group from Wichita right now that's going to, I think they fly to New York, they get on a cruise up Hudson Bay or
Hudson River.
or something. Cruise for so many days and then come back and do something in New York. But I thought, one of our chief weathermen is going to do this, and he all this night after night talking about people going with him. Then he's not been saying it, so I guess he got his mouth off. That sounded like such a good trip.
Well, why didn't you go?
Because I just can't.
Sure you can.
Well, it's too late now. Because
Oh.
they went in September.
They'll probably go again next year.
No, they probably will. No, they go all over the place. He gets this group together.
But they can't see fall foliage except in the fall.
Oh, that's right.
So,
What do you remember from Colorado? Anyone's place, site?
Okay, I've been there twice. So when we went in 47, 48, 49, 49.
that's not the year I was thinking.
Well, I've been since, I think, Joe.
That's when
Okay, well,
you went in 47.
it was 49.
49, excuse me.
We went to Colorado Springs, and we didn't even go as far as Denver, but the tourist things around Colorado Springs, the Royal Gorge, the Garden of the Gods, and the 7 steps of something on, I don't forget the name of it. Those 3 things, because they were tourist things,
Parker's my doctor.
were so
You guys
nice. Now,
do a
it was nice
checkup.
when we went to Jones Charles, but it was in the winter, and there was snow, and we drove some places and get out and walk. We were cold as a mischief. It was just not the same trip.
Cold as the mischief.
Yes, it is. And we played, they had another guy with, we played 42 a lot, but we stayed in the cabin lot. I mean, you could still see the beautiful mountains, and we were up in the mountain. But I just put the other trip, well, we never had gone places that much when we went to Colorado with Mom and Dad. And Aunt Rosie went with us on that trip.
Now, you sent me a sermon outline on the balanced rock. Do you remember seeing that by Paxby?
Yes, I remember
Yes,
seeing
you
that.
do.
You wrote a sermon?
Well, probably not.
Oh.
I probably heard
It's
one.
from Alabama.
He's from Alabama.
You got a bulletin from Florence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, you done for a moment?
Well, unless California comes next. I just
Okay,
can't remember the
yeah.
sequence. Is the next year, is that California trip?
That year, I was in Denton in summer school, quit my job and went with Mom and Dad. Thought I might never go again, never have been again. He had a temporary layoff. We'd already been on vacation. Texas had already gone with us to Galveston. Dad already had vacation. I guess I didn't go to school the first 6 weeks, but was the second, and so I was working. Quit my job and went with him. Birthday watermelon in Yosemite. Yes, 18th birthday.
But you went not knowing when he'd get to start working it?
Right, but he knew that right then he knew that those were all 2 or 3 weeks left. They
Okay,
just kept
okay.
happening. It wasn't like he lost his job when we moved to Tioga.
Right.
That one looked like never go back. But then one day we did. But yes, the California trip was good. We went as far as San Francisco and then Los Angeles and Yosemite, and that's all I remember particularly about that trip. But Yosemite, we stayed in the car in the valley of that camp, and in the night, I mean, so many people did that. Well, Barry would come after your food. And when Mom woke up and saw that Barry, she said, "I'm getting in the car and sleeping." John and Dad, I just stayed outside.
And we have a mama.
And just on the ground or on a picnic table or?
It seemed like we were on the ground. We probably had quilts. I don't know. This one lady I read after, she's always talking about Yosemite, that she lived in California. They took their family to Yosemite. I thought, been there, but you probably are better stay in quarters than we did that night. It's beautiful.
Well, you've been to Yellowstone too, right?
Nope, just Mom and Dad, not me. I've not been farther north than Denver. So we flew into Denver with Joan and Charles going out to the mountains. I haven't been farther than that. Even when we met them, Mom and Dad in South Dakota, St. Rena's, they had come up, gone into Wyoming, Yellowstone, and then came across. We just drove right up there and met them. We didn't, on the western trek, I've not been farther north than Denver.
Okay. Of all your kids growing up years, what's the biggest trouble anyone ever got into that you just thought, I'm gonna just wring this child's neck? Other than me, that is.
I don't know.
No. She's being diplomatic.
Yeah, being diplomatic. I don't know.
So was Laura really your favorite?
No, I would not say she's my favorite.
Was she Dad's favorite? To be truthful,
Well,
be
no,
honest.
She might be. She might have been. She might have been first girl.
Or was it between Laura and Joe?
I don't know.
So what did you think when you first became a grandmother?
It was pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And Sharon said, please don't let this baby be born today. These guys will always be watching football games today. So it was the next day. Yes. But we stayed up there a good bit of the night. Uh-oh, I remember that day. Pretty exciting.
What else you got, Weldon, to address?
That covers my first list. Like I said, it's increments.
This is covered a lot.
So what would you like to be for your grandchildren? How many grandchildren you got?
14.
14? What would you like,
Well, we've got some married in.
what would you like your grandchildren's best memory to be of you? What would you like them to remember about you? What would you like your legacy to be for your grandchildren?
I would say going to services every Lord's Day. And then trying to live it out. That's pretty general.
Pretty general.
Pretty inclusive.
I would also like to remember coming to Grandmommy's house and some of the, I don't do overly much for them, but trying to get some little thing that they like foods. Like Gilbert and Laura gave me that gallon jug that time full of little snippets of things. It says, one of the things was, Mom remembers all of our favorite foods and tries to fix certain ones when the kids are home. Kids and grandkids are home. His
Okay,
included.
go down the list. If you can. Tell me. Justin.
Okay, I just can't go down the list right now.
Tell me something you remember.
Somewhat.
That you remember. Right, off the top of your head. Without having to, write them all down.
Okay, this has been some years ago, probably 5-8 years ago. But right now, I can do some of it maybe in the younger grandkids.
Okay.
Like Bailey,
Bailey.
baked beans and ham and rolls.
Baked beans, ham and rolls.
Okay, Tucker, goulash. Emery, roast and potatoes. Okay, we're not even considering desserts because they like so many desserts. I could go there too. But let's see. Nathan, pink salad. That Lisa makes. I can make it too, but it's Lisa's pink salad. Okay, Erin, what is Erin like? Grapes. You have grapes, Erin is happy. Okay, I just can't think of.
Lyndon's is roast, your roast.
Yeah, she always. Justin, yogurt. Always try to have yogurt for him.
Yogurt?
I don't know if he particularly liked it that well. It's just one thing he could eat, so I'd always try to have it. Okay,
Darcy, you know what you make for her.
lots of things.
Venison
Venison
Great.
gravy.
is one thing.
Venison gravy.
What?
She loves the goulash too. If
Oh,
you
yes.
have venison gravy, she'll ask you to have goulash too. And
That's a
sometimes-
combination.
Sometimes I would. Sometimes I'd have goulash from the Saturday night and have it eaten for her on Sunday. Okay. Sawyer is roast and potatoes guy too. Just real much. And of course, near the end of them, you could say Dr. Pepper, but I was trying to think foods. So anyway, it's trying to key in on some of the things that they like. I don't know that I ever hit. Anyway.
I think you hit on all cylinders, Mom.
Okay. Are we gonna shut it down for now for today?
What message would you like to leave for your grandchildren?
What message? Do as good as you can in all the things that you do. That sounds good. Really
Okay.
it is.
No, I'm just looking to see if you were through.
Sound like Ecclesiastes.
Sounds like a wrap. Are we done for tonight?
I think we should be done for the night.
Just for
That was hard.
history's sake, give the date, please.
Today
Today's date.
is September 20th, 2014.
And we're wrapping this up at about 4:15 p.m.
Yes.
Okay? And why were you here?
For the September birthdays.
Yay. That's a wrap.